Hello folks, Red 06 here. Actually, hold up, let me fix that for it to be a little bit aesthetically pleasing. Alright, there we go. Alright, this is Red 06 here. Today we're going to be talking about possibly one of the most obscure, not really obscure, this is more or less not really obscure. This is a gimmick pistol, as I like to call it. This specific pistol I'm talking about is the 118 Targeteer pistol.
You're wasting time.
What's that?
Let me speak.
It sounds like post-recording me's about to make an introduction to this thing.
I am, you bumbling oaf.
Thank you, post-recording me. I'll see you after that.
Alright, now, the Daisy Targeteer pistol was first developed in 1937. Back then, it came in a simple cardboard box with a metal hook and 2 spinning targets. Back in the day, this pistol was advertised as an indoor party game for the rich, considering, most people couldn't afford this thing back in the day. The ammunition for this specific pistol was exclusive to this gun, and it is surprisingly small. As a matter of fact, some would say it's smaller than my chances of getting women. As a matter of fact, these small pieces of metal were so weak that you could aim it at your hand and you would still not get hurt. After World War II, the pistol would get an adjustable iron sight, and then it came. But we're not going to talk about that yet. Then in 1952, the pistol would get discontinued for the Daisy Target pistol, which was basically a Daisy Targeteer pistol with plastic grips and could shoot .177 beads.
Alright, now that we're done with the introduction, I might as well discuss this specific version of the Targeteer pistol. This is the 1947 Daisy Targeteer Targette set, which was only produced between 1947 and 1952, if I am not positive. And this one is a post-war second variation Targeteer pistol, and it's a really interesting gun in my opinion. Let's see where we start. We probably should start with the main attraction, the pistol here. Let's move all this stuff to the side. So this is your Daisy Targeteer pistol, calibered in 118 shot. That's right, 118. This thing it didn't really hit very heavy. So like I said, back in 1937, these pistols were more or less advertised as an indoor party game, solely because of the fact of how not dangerous this thing was. Like, you wouldn't stop anything with this. At most, maybe a fly and or a gnat if you hit it correctly. These pistols were produced 1937 to 1952. Then 1952, they discontinued them for the Target pistol, which was basically this, but it fired regular .177 rounds. So, distinguishing factors about this specific pistol. This thing's all metal. This specific model, compared to the rest of them, is nickel-plated, because I don't think I addressed this in the video, but back in 1937, there were only 2 options for colors. There was the blued steel option, and then there was the black option. Those were the only 2 options you had available. Now, post-war, you get not just 2, not 4, 3 options. They've updated it 1 extra option. Now, instead of blued steel and it being a black painted gun option, you can now have nickel-plated, or as the community calls, the chrome-painted Targeteer pistol. As you can see right here on the tag, this is the 118 Targeteer pistol. This one is produced in Plymouth, Michigan. But yeah, this pistol it's the only one of its time, and it was very innovative at the time, in my opinion, this specific set here. So, I might as well explain how you shoot it. So, first, you twist the shot tube. I want to show off the shot tube first before we get into the instructional part. Basically the same as the 1937, or at least the 1930s era rifles, where it was mostly like this at the top. Mostly similar to a Model 25 shot tube nowadays, except really small. You got your feeding tube right here, and then over here you have your spring, which holds your BBs. Then you're not supposed to take them out of the gun, but still, I just wanted to show the shot tube off because of how clean it is. Anyways, to load this pistol, you would twist it, similar to a Buck Jones Special, except there's no hole on the side, it's on the bottom. You would twist until you see this hole, load it full of whatever amount of beads you wanted. Nope, that's the wrong way. You would twist it back, and then came the interesting part, which I'm going to start with one of the cooler options, which wasn't available on the pre-war model. you could adjust your sight options, because you can see right here there is a tick mark. If I'm not paused, I'm just checking. Yeah, there's tick marks on this sight right here. There should be 4 tick marks, and then on the side right here, there should be 1 tick mark. That isn't a scuff or scrape. That is simply for you to choose your option of adjustable height options, which, like I said, very innovative for the time. And it was later established, I mean, not this exact style. I mean, actually this exact style. It was later established on the Target pistol. But anyways, the way you would get the thing cocked you would pull it back like any regular pistol, push it forward, and then you would simply just fire. And these pistols were advertised specifically with the instruction to pull the trigger very lightly, because of I don't know why they did it, probably because of the fact that these pistols broke relatively easy. Because these things are hard to fix. Solely because of the fact that they're all metal, and they're not held together with bolts and stuff like regular pistols. These ones are spot welded together. As you can see right here, there's a spot weld here. There's a spot weld on both sides right here. It is absolutely impossible. And if that isn't already difficult, I have no clue what that is, but that is a rivet right there. That right there is a rivet. So this bolt fixes your sight. This bolt, I don't have an ounce of a clue what it does yet, but they're impossible to disassemble. That's why it's hard to find these in good shape, and that's why they sell for over $90. Of course, this one I snagged for about $70, so I did pretty good, I'd say. Thought that was a gnat or something. Guess I'm just itchy. Now let's get into your ammunition options. You had 2 options back in 1947. You had your regular steel beads, which were, of course, the 118 Calibri shot. And then you got introduced to your copper-coated Calibri shot. This is a 500 shot container, as it says on the front. And, of course, these were also both produced in Plymouth, Michigan. Let me do a quick show of what you got in that. Thank goodness that this is not on a space where they could just fall, because I would never find them ever again. But yeah, basically you can see of how small those beads are. And I might as well just show the steel ones while I'm here. Yeah, those are relatively small beads. And you can see in reference of how small this container is in my hands. And the funny thing is that these were only exclusively made for this specific pistol. So snagging a container of these is rather hard nowadays. One of these containers, actually both, cost $25 each, with the copper-coated one being harder to find. And it took me a bit to find them, but I was luckily able to find both containers with beads, because sometimes they sell them without the beads, and then it's just a decoration piece. And now we get into the magical part that makes this thing different other than the color. This is the Targette. This is the reason of why this was sold as a package set. Instead of it being a paper style, which actually not paper style, but back in the day they couldn't afford to make a target like this, so they took the box, took a hook, a metal hook, and then put 2 spinning targets on that you could shoot at. And that is why a lot of those original boxes are so hard to find in good shape, because they're all shot up. But this piece right here, this one sort of solved the problem, I guess, in a way. But this is the Targette. This is probably, in my opinion, probably one of the most innovative pieces of Daisy vintage history I have. And why is it innovative? Well, for starters, let's just start with the obvious stuff. On the front, you can see you have many options to shoot at. You got a little guy right here. I think this is a shooting option, but I have no clue. Of course, you got this big rotating piece. You have these 3 rotating pieces in here. This part's broken. That's the only problem, so I might try to buy a new one, see if there's a replacement option for this. I highly doubt it. Then you have this big moon that you get to spin. These were all available. There was no option to swap these out. It would be cool to swap these out, because that'd be kind of cool, because especially if you damaged this really badly, you just had the pistol and that's it. But I don't think that really mattered. But anyways, let's get into the part of why this specific thing right here, this little piece of red plastic that probably would realistically cost about $1.50 to make nowadays, this thing has multiple parts that also include the pieces I've shown previously. So, let's start with the pistol. For starters, this was encased in a box that was about this big by this big. Actually, I'm being a little bit courteous, probably about this big by this big. It was a small, compact box, and this is the reason for it. Number one, you would slide the Targeteer pistol on top of the target because there is a slot right here that you're able to do it right there. That is so unbelievably cool that DayZ was ahead of their time with being able to display something like this. And you might be wondering, Red Ryder 06, where are you going to put your beads? They thought of that already. They done thought. So, in the back of the legs, you're able to stick your beads in there like that. And better yet, if you wanted to, which this was also really cool, you could take the tops off, flip it around, and then catch your beads as you shot into the target, which nowadays doesn't seem like a very conventional idea. It's like going for cracked golf balls and trying to find them all and then just hitting them again. It's kind of unreasonable, considering usually beads get cracked and or damaged in some way after being shot at least once or twice. So I that's the only flaw I'm seeing here, but other than that, it's a really interesting design because not only do you have you made it very compact to the point where you can sell it at a very small price because the box is small, but it also makes the target piece, the Targette, really useful because of the fact that it's able to encapsulate everything within a compact box. And it just baffles me that they were this innovative back in 1947 to think and design of something like this, because usually the only compactness that they would throw in something like this would be the number 25/model 25 takedown rifle. You would take the takedown screw, take it out, take the gun into two pieces, and then put it into a compact box, and then you'd have to just reassemble it once you buy it. That is the simple factor of this, and that's what made it really easy to produce multiple of them and put them all on shelves, is that it was really compact and ergonomical, especially for store owners that probably sold this thing around the time. Of course, like I said, the Targeteer pistol would fade into obscurity because of the fact that I guess the fad of indoor party games kind of fell off. Yeah, I honestly do kind of feel that. I mean, I kind of want to play Monopoly right now. But yeah, that's probably realistically about it with this pistol and the set. I would realistically, this deserves a 10 out of 10. This is peak design right here. It's a little bit weird in a way, but it's peak. It makes logical sense. So, I guess that'll be it. This is Red Ryder 06, signing out.